Good morning, all. It is February the 19th, 2016, and time to kick off another trading day. And we're going to look at the F1 screens this morning to kind of give you some perspective. Today is option expiration for equity indexes and for treasuries, and that's unusual, but sometimes it does happen. And when we look at the numbers last night, the 130.5 on puts, 131 even on calls, so that favors a close at 130.24. Certainly 131 or below. And you can see right now that we've got some fair resistance here in this 31.08, 12 area, 31 even. We've got volume over here. So we are at resistance, and it has to come out on treasuries for the market to trade higher. And I think it'll take some help from the E-mini. The option on the 30-year, the option expiration price favors a close at 165 in the 30-year. So here we are. We got a P overnight. We got volume a little bit below time. Quite often we see a high or a low set in the Globex session in the WRX period. So today's news is CPI, and I didn't even really check and see what that was going to be on CPI. So we do a quick look-see. Minus a tenth on CPI, plus a tenth on core. Yesterday, the PPI came in much higher than forecast, so we'll see if that holds true. So CPI news, probably not going to get much of a, won't be much of a factor today. Okay, 7 to 11 is sell 1. It's where resistance is. 15 to 19 will be sell 2. On the buy side, I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm going to say 29 to 25. Option expiration favors a close at 131, so I'm going to try to get long beneath 131. And then 17 to 21 for buy 2. So I think the first trade that's going to set up for us is going to be a sell at maybe in the 4 to 8 area. I'd like to get it done at 7 or better. You know, one of the nice things about trading treasuries is that they're pretty predictable direction-wise, and if you get the direction right, you don't have to. I mean, you do have to worry about other things. The thing that drives people crazy about trading treasuries, I've got to buy into weakness and I've got to sell into strength. Wouldn't it be better to join that move? And in most markets, it is better to join that move. But not in treasuries. They are responsive markets. 165 even is the math. So yesterday it was 164 puts, 166 calls. That favors a close at 165. That's without some big help from the E-mini. That's not going to be possible. Don't think today's news will impact the trading. So got a low at 9. We are headed lower right here. We got 166. So we're going to try 66.01.05 by 1. And I'm going to put a question mark at 13. If the E-mini continues to sell or starts to sell, it's going to be hard to get in, and then we're going to do 21s to 25s. On the sell side, 23, 27, and then 31s to 03s. And remember, on option expiration day, they're going to try to freeze the calls and the puts. So they're going to run the market directionally one way, freeze one side of the market, then they'll take it back the other way. So we will get some back and forth. Okay, gold's off a bit overnight. Lots and lots of articles coming out where the bears are about to throw in the towel on gold, and we have Bank of America forecasting 1350 to 1550 price. Now, whether that's true or not, we will see. But I just think with all the stuff that's going on around the world, if nobody's buying gold to trade it and make money off of it, the base or the foundation or the long-term buying is people that are scared to death about what's coming and about what their governments are doing to them. And now we're seeing they're going to take all our paper money away from us. And that, there's some people estimate the underground economy in the United States is $2 trillion large. Because of all the taxes and the stuff that you have to go through. And believe you me, quarterly, every time I pay quarterlies, the cash side of the economy becomes more attractive. And you don't say that lightly, because taxes do have to be paid. We have services that are needed out there. But by God, when you see all the cheating that's going on, all the damn government waste that's going on the programs that they fund, and it's so far away from what traditionally have been funded. I mean, it always, we might end up like Italy or France or people where it's considered national sport to avoid taxes as best you can. I mean, the debt burden is onerous. And the taxes to support that debt burden that gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year are becoming onerous. They raise taxes every time you turn around, something's going on. Okay, 34.36, sell 1 on gold. 39.41, sell 2, buy 1, 25.27, buy 2, 19 to 21. Okay, on the euro, we're going to do a London split. We got a seller. God dang, I got to figure out how to read this thing. 35 to 45. Last rotate up was 23. I guess 23. So 11.25 is going to be sell 1. 45 to 55, sell 2. On the buy side, there's 111 even. There's 80, so 75 to 85 by 1, and 1050 by 2. And Charlie is still having a hard time with that damn price scale on the side over there. Looking at crude oil, hard to see how crude. Again, we're talking about this 31.55 limit buy. Today is expiration of the March contract. They'll be buying the March contract and selling into the April. That's usually always a pretty good trade if you've got pockets and can handle a margin call, because it will. April prices, unless there's a big change in OPEC deal, will get back to March prices. So I like the short side of the market, and you can do this split right here. And you can see that we definitely have a beam. We're working lower. Now, volume is above time, and the reason volume is above time is because of where yesterday's volume was, right there. But you can see that volume is moving lower. So 32.75 to 33. Sell 1, and then 1/4 to 50, sell 2. Pretty much where we were yesterday. On the buy side, I think we could head lower, but it is 32, 32 and 1/4. That's our first little band of support. And then 31.50, 75, and that's the buy I do like. A resting limit order at 31.55. Now, if you don't want to play it that way, just see what happens when you get down there and the first signs of deceleration you see, step up to the plate. I think it could be a pretty good trade. Not guaranteed, nothing is in this game, but it will close the gap. Okay, the ES today. Yesterday, the calls that were bought were 1920s to 1950s. The biggest open interest in calls is 2000. Don't think we can make that. But this is also done with the background of the biggest shorts since either 2014 or 2009, open short interest. So it is possible for a short squeeze to develop. So 1900 and then 1920 to 1950. Take your pick. Then 2000, and then we do have a lot of 1900 calls out there. So mathematically, the close that would make the most money for the market maker would be a close at 1900 or below as far as the calls go. Now on the put side, there's some activity at 1900, but the size in puts is 1850 and 1800. So again, a close at 1900 keeps the put owners that own the 1900s at bay. So I'm guessing we're going to close today at 1900. Now if we come down and we can't take out 1900 and we're trading this 1905, 1910 area all day long, then a short squeeze into the close becomes possible, and that's what we'll be looking for. CPI news, doubt will have much impact. Like the short side of the market first. Would like to get it done a little bit higher. I'd like to sell at 15 to 20 area for sell 1, then 25 to 30 for sell 2. Leaning up against 20, which is where the calls were yesterday, and this is where the volume is. And he at 19, picking up this high volume number would be the better trade. On the buy side, 1901s to 1896s, and we'll put a question mark at 5. And then 85 to 90, picking up this volume right over here. Buy 2. So I'm guessing we're closing today at 1900, and it doesn't mean we will. It just means we're thinking ahead of the game. We're looking at our next way stop. We're looking at what might happen. We're planning our trip. And we have to hit these waypoints to make it to our destination, right? Not really, Charles. Hey, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy with it. I will be back with you as soon as possible.